Betsy, and today we have another fun video, and it is part of my mid-year 2021 collection and declutter series. So today we're going through bronzers, and I will tell you this, my bronzer collection this year has grown by leaps and bounds because my friend Aileen over at Pyt Beauty absolutely adores bronzers, and she's really gotten me into them, so I have tried a bunch. Now, some of these I will keep, some of these I won't. I'm not sure which yet, but we'll go over it and I will let you know my thoughts on them. But we are going to swatch everything and go through because there's quite a few in here. And I don't need this many bronzers because actually a lot of these don't even work on my complexion anymore. So let's get started. So the first one I have, this is the Soul Body, which is by ColourPop. This is their sister brand, but it's part of their brand. And this is their Face and Body Bronzing Balm in medium. That's what she looks like. This smells so good. It smells kind of fruity, kind of like candy. And I really like this formula. That's what it looks like. So as you can see, it's just a tad bit deeper than my hand, so it actually shows up on my face. And it is a little on the orangey side, but it blends out beautifully. But we're gonna hold on to that one. I really enjoy that formula. And it's inexpensive. I may, the next time I place a ColourPop order, I may go ahead and pick up another one. So the next one we have, this is the Hourglass Ambient Radiant Bronze Light. This is the deepest shade they have in bronzer. And this is what is sad. So, even on my finger, on the whitest part of me, it barely shows, and then it is lighter than my skin. So this is going bye-bye. I have quit purchasing from Hourglass until they can get their crap together and make things to be inclusive to everyone. And at this point, they're like, we don't care about everybody else, so I'm not gonna buy from them. Next up, this is the Anastasia Powder Bronzer, and this is in the shade Rich Amber. I'm not gonna erase these swatches because I want to kind of look at them as I go and see what works and what doesn't. So again, this is in the shade Rich Amber. It's a beautiful, beautiful color. See how that's a little bit more cool toned? Yeah, you can see that on there. So I'm gonna hold on to that one. I think we'll put that in the maybe stack because I don't know. I still like it. I don't know, I haven't used it in a while. Next up, this is a small indie brand, and this is CXC Beauty. And this is the Refined Radiance Bronzer. I have this in the shade N2. Nadia has it. My friend Rupi just got it. And Stephen of Fortitude, Stephen Ford, and Stephen Ford of Fortitude is what his name is on Instagram, also have it. This is a queer-owned brand, and it is an awesome bronzer. They came out with 25 shades out the gate. This is neutral too. This is where I should fall on the gambit. I shouldn't be high up on the list. I should be lower. But you see how pretty that is? It blends out like a dream. That ain't going nowhere. And they came out with 25 shades with all different kinds of undertones to start with. You know, they did it. And it's not expensive. It's under 20 bucks, so I cannot complain. Next up, this is the Fenty Cheeks Out Cream Bronzer, and this is in the shade Macchiato. I haven't used this that much. And this is more of a balmy texture, but as you can see, I do tend to go for a little bit more of either a neutral or cool tone option. So that is pretty much my skin tone right now. I am gonna hold on to that one though, because that one's good for when I am a little bit paler. I don't wanna get rid of all my lighter bronzers, but the Hourglass, even at my palest, isn't deep enough, if that makes sense. So next up, this is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. As you can see, she is well loved. She has a nice big old dip in her. I keep thinking Physicians Formula is gonna do better and add more shades, but they really don't. That's what she looks like. You can see her right there. It is my skin tone. I can wear it in the winter, but I am gonna declutter it. Again, I don't want to sit here and keep supporting brands who aren't inclusive for everybody, so I don't wanna talk about it. I'm not gonna keep it. I mean, it is what it is. I'm trying to think through my purchases a little bit more that way. I can't promise I'm going to be perfect, but I do want to make sure I try to be as inclusive as possible. Next up, this is the Melt Cream Stack. And part of the reason why I love this, so you can see like this would work as a bronzer on Nadia. It is also great for blending out like a cream product. Aren't you? Okay, so that is the first shade. And I thought that this was gonna be a little too deep, and you can see that one's a little orangier. They work beautiful. Then we have that one. That one. I do really like Melt's cream formulas, and that one, which is the deepest of them, which isn't a shade that I can use that often, but I still like to have it because, you know, sometimes I get asked to do other people's makeup. So that's all the shades. So you see what I'm saying? In that one Melt cream stack, there is literally 3 shades. Actually, no, all the shades in that Melt cream stack are darker than the Hourglass and the Physicians formula. So I will continue to support Melt, and I love that cream stack. It is great to use, and I like to have a mixture of cream and powder bronzer. Sometimes I want to use cream, sometimes I want to use powder, sometimes I want to use both. And you know, kind of depends on what I'm in the mood for. Next up, this is the Smashbox Bronze Light, and this is the shade Deep Matte. Now, I just got this at the CCO. I have no idea if this is the deepest shade from them. I haven't done my research, and I probably should. So you can see it right there. It is a little bit paler. It almost matches the Anastasia one, doesn't it? So there's Smashbox. Let's swatch Anastasia. Yeah, those are pretty much the same. We'll see which one out of the 2 of those I decide to keep, because I don't need both of them. Because bronzer takes a long time to go through. I have gone through a bronzer in my life, but it's been a long time. Next up, this is the Makeup by Mario. This is the medium dark, and I love this bronzer. It's the bronzer I'm wearing today. It is beautiful, beautiful on the skin. Oh, and see, that's almost the same tone too. So I might get rid of both of those and keep the Makeup by Mario, because I really like the Makeup by Mario. I like how it goes on the skin, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. So next up, this is the Patrick Ta She's So Sculpted. Now this is the medium shade that I got. His range was actually decent for colors compared to some, because this came out at the same time Wayne Goss's did, but it is a little pale for me. I think it'll work during the winter. So there's the cream contour shade right there, and then that's the powder bronzer. So you can see it's a little light for me now, but I'm gonna hold on to it for the winter time because I think it'll work well for the winter. And sometimes having just a duo like that is so much easier to deal with. Next up, this is the Danessa Myricks. This is the Balm Contour. I love this. This is amazing. Okay, so we'll swatch her. This blends out like a dream. I have the shade Medium 1. Again, this goes good enough for my skin tone. And there are plenty of deeper shades. And it blends out like a dream. We are keeping that one. There's no question in my mind about that. Next up, so many bronzers. We have the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrushed Bronzer. I have the shade number 2. And right now she is pale, but she is still deeper than a lot. So I'm holding on to her. She's another good winter bronzer. Or at least she was last year, but like because of 2020, I don't even know my bronzer shade anymore because I didn't get to, like I didn't spend as much time out in the sun, so like I got really pale compared to what I am. Next up, this is the Marc Jacobs Tantric Omega Bronzer. I bought this, it was half off at Sephora. I heard such good things about it. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna keep it. Like, I don't know. I just don't feel like that has enough oomph to it. At least for me. Like, I think I need a deeper shade. I want to get another Marc Jacobs bronzer, but I think I need something a little bit deeper. Next up, this is the Huda Beauty Tantour. I have the shade medium. And this bronzer, let me tell you, it's kind of a slash bronzer slash contour. It goes a long way. You can see I have a massive dip in that because it's so good. I've used this a bunch, but it goes very, very far. And one thing about it is like their medium is almost too deep for me. See what I'm saying? She blends out like a dream. I love it. I'm not getting rid of it. I think it's a great product. Next up, we have the Fenty Beauty. This is the Sunstalker bronzer, and I have the shade Island Tang. Let's swatch you. Fenty's do lean a little orange, like as I'm looking at them. It's okay though. We're gonna keep Fenty because Fenty has some good products. I really enjoy Fenty brand, so we're gonna keep it. Okay, next up, this is a newer one to my collection. This is the Pyt Beauty. This is the only shade of bronzer that they have. I don't know anything about the brand. I bought this for my birthday, so I'm just kind of swirling to mix the two of them together. And that is my skin tone. That can go. I won't use that. Okay, next up, this is the Fenty Matchstick in Mocha. I have used quite a bit of this. This is all that's left of it. So I'm going to keep this and I'm going to leave it out so I'm going to pan this because as you can see, there's not much of it left. I love using up products. It has taken me a while, but these are great. Like again, this product, I like that version of the Matchstick, the contour bronzy one, more than I like the concealer one because the concealer is a little bit draggy, but the contour bronzy one is great. Okay, next up we have the Cover FX. This is the Sunkissed Bronze. I think this is the only shade of bronzer in these duos. And everybody loved these duos. So you can see there's a shimmery bronze and then a matte bronze. They had the blushes, so I have one of the blushes. I think I'm gonna get rid of that. I never really use the shimmer side and I don't ever really reach for it. I don't know, like as you can see, it's even on like the whiter part of me. You can see it's a little on the pale side. Now it's not as, I mean, like there's other things that are paler. I just don't think it's going, I don't know. Does that make sense? Next up, this is the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand. It's an easy contour and I have the shade Fair Medium. This is a great product for contouring. That's it on the side of my hand. This is very expensive. It goes a long way. But she's a stay, she's a keep. And like what I mean by when I say she's easy to blend, like if you watch how I blend this, like just even tapping it out with my fingers, it gives you that most realistic shadow color. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Okie dokie. Next up, this is the Milk Makeup. This is the matte bronzer stick, and this is a small one of it. So that's it. This one works on me. Kind of smells like Play-Doh, but I'm keeping it. It's newer, it works. It is a little on the cooler side. Like, I'm not sure if you can see that. There we go. But it is a good product. Now this one you know is not going anywhere. This is the Gucci bronzer. And again, I have the shade number 2. Gucci did well. As you can see, it's like a little bit more cool tone. I like a good cool tone bronzer. Look how deep that is. That is great. Like, look. See? She's a keep. Gucci has even deeper shades and it works. You know, it may not be inclusive. Okay, so let me think of the best way to say this. You can try to be as inclusive as possible, unless you're like CXC Beauty and really try to run the gambit of all of them. A lot of brands aren't going to come out with 25 shades of bronzer. It's not the most realistic thing, because bronzer is a powder product. You kind of buff it in and buff it out, where, you know, it kind of goes with a lot of different skin tones, if that makes sense. But I think that they need to run the gambit. You know, you need to have something for your very deep. You need to have something for your pale, and shades in between, you know. Next up, this is the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer, and this is in the shade Bronzed Belle. I really like this bronzer. I've used it once. I've only used it once. It has a really good creamy texture. This is not the deepest shade either. So you can see right there, that's it in between. And it's a beautiful, beautiful bronzer. I like it. I have only used it once, so we're gonna try to use it some more, and then we'll go from there. This is the KKW Light Medium Contour Stick. My daughter talked me into getting this. It doesn't have a whole lot of product in it. So that is the contour side, but it's still a great contour. For nose contouring, it's amazing. And then we have the bronzer side, which is pale for me, but I want to at least use up the contour side. Okay, we're almost finished. I'm gonna keep that though. Next up, this is the MAC and Aladdin. This says blush on the back. It's the Your Wish is My Command. It's from the Aladdin collection. I think I already said that. And it is more of like a ready tone bronzer. Let's see if I can swatch that better, because I'm using the wrong hand. So it's a little bit more difficult. You can see it now. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna hold on to it. It does work for me in the winter, and it does have a really pretty, like you can see it on my finger, it has a really pretty undertone to it, so I do like that. Next up, this is probably one of my favorite bronzers in my collection right now. I have used this so much since I've gotten it because it just looks so good on the skin. This is the Glowish by Huda Beauty, the Soft Radiance Bronzing Powder, and this is in the shade Tan Light. Look at that. See, again, that's more of that cool tone, undertone. Let's swatch you right here. Did that not swatch? It didn't swatch. I mean, it kind of did. It goes on better with a brush than it does a damp finger, I guess is the best way to put it. But it really does. I've used it on camera a bunch, and it really looks good on the skin. So I'm definitely keeping her. So we're getting there. And last but certainly not least, this is the Juvia's Place Bronzer in Medium. I bought this at Ulta, and I don't mind it. That's the two colors, but it is a little off-putting. Does that make sense? I think I'm gonna get rid of that. Yep, I'm sure I'm gonna get rid of it. So that is my bronzer declutter. As you can see, there are a ton of different bronzers in my collection. I actually really love bronzer. And, you know, I think it's one of those products that kind of gets overlooked sometimes. I think bronzers is definitely something that really helps with everything. So let's see how many we're keeping. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. I'm not counting that that's counted as 1. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So keeping 18, and then 4 to get rid of, we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're getting rid of 8. I don't think that's bad. So remember, we are uploading a new part of the declutter every Friday, because I gotta get rid of some of this makeup. It's just a little overwhelming. We're gonna do the same thing with blushes. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button right down below. And if you hit the notification bell icon next to it, that will notify you when I post new videos, which is typically Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But I also have a lot of bonus content in between because I buy a lot of makeup. So, but I love makeup. I love everything about makeup. But I guess that's it for today. So we shall see y'all later.